All right, thank you. Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arli Mujkic. I'm the CEO and founder of Epti, which we will be presenting today. I'm based here in Munich.
My name is Adam Backstrom. I'm the CFO at Epti, and I'm located in Stockholm.
So Epti is a Swedish company. So let's just jump right into the introduction. What is Epti? We are an IT service and software development company with an investment arm, where we focus on fast-growing tech companies in Europe. Founded in 2017 with a headquarter in Stockholm and the co-headquarter here in Munich, where I'm located and based. We listed in 2021 in Stockholm Nasdaq First North and have since then also listed on Frankfurt, Xetra, Stuttgart under the ticker Epti. Epti has over 200 employees, 208 to be exact today, in 8 countries, and that's excluding our portfolio companies. As you can see on the right side, Epti is built up by 2 business segments: Epti Service, where we have IT service and software development, and Epti Invest, where we have investments. So let's dive a little bit into that and talk more about the business segments. As I mentioned, we're operationally divided into 2 different business segments. Epti Service, where the scope of business is to generate recurring revenues and cash flows through IT service and software development with 5 majority-owned operative companies. This is where we have over 200 employees in the 8 countries I mentioned before. It's a buy, build, and hold case where we can see currently released today figures, the first 9 months of a revenue of almost 12 million and an EBITDA of right above 2.5 million. On the right-hand side, you see Epti Invest. The scope of business there is proceeds from exits. It's an investment holding. It currently has 19 minority-owned companies. It's a buy, build, and sell strategy. The case there is return on investment. So if we look on the left side, it's focused on EBITDA, cash flow generating, and on the right side, equity, return on investment generating income. So how does Epti then work? It's led and managed by the parent company, which we represent, Epti Ab. AB stands for AG in Sweden. And there are many synergies between these 2 business segments. It's a combination of an IT service company and an investment holding, with the bridge of the management services we have in the top. This includes strategic planning, controlling, accounting, of course, biz dev, M&A, and HR, since it's a person-driven business, programmers, etc. So we provide the management services down to these 2 business segments, and they in turn provide, on the left side, as you can see, IT services, and on the right side, investments to customers and targets such as Scepter, the Swedish Defense, Microsoft's Mojang, which is the Minecraft game maybe your kids are playing, Klarna, Apoteka, and so on. So let's do a little bit bigger deep dive into these segments. If we look at our business segment service, again, to mention, providing professional IT service and development services. We have 5 majority held holdings where we own from 90 to 100%. Their customers, as I mentioned, are some of these Swedish Defense, Klarna, Tele2, Mojang, Scepter, Discovery, etc. So stable cash flow from big customers where we provide mainly programming services, but also marketing and sales. The figures as of 30th of September are 11.9 million, as I mentioned, and an EBITDA of 2.6. This is during the first 9 months of this year. If we go into Epti Invest, we have 19 holdings from 1 to 49%. Examples such as Apoteka, the online pharmacy for former Yugoslavia, Invayo, an event platform for companies, Model Management, the world's largest online modeling agency with customers such as Louis Vuitton and etc., with over 2 million models. And customers of these companies are, example, BMW, Würth, Porsche, Red Bull, and of course H&M and Bonnier, 2 major Swedish companies. Here, as I mentioned before, we focus on the net asset value. This is 34.7 million in invest. And the main KPI, going back again, is return on investment. So far realized 6.5 times the money. Epti Invest, as I mentioned, has a portfolio of 19 companies within 4 rapidly growing industries. So these are the 4 industries we invest in. It's gaming, fintech, marketplace, and software as a service. This is a little bit of an overview of our companies. If you are interested in learning more about them, feel free to go into epti.com, where there is more of a description for each of these companies. Now for Adam.
Thank you. This work, everyone hears me? Yeah, perfect. So when we looking into our company and want to see what the valuation, how we evaluate our company, we use net asset value. When we're looking into our net asset value, we separate it by Epti Invest and Epti Service. When we're looking at Epti Service, we're using a valuation method that is based on the company's profit. We're using a valuation method EBITDA 12.5. Since Epti Service is a profitable business, we want to have a stable ground in our NAV, which as you can see is the dark blue. Then when we're looking into our holdings in Epti Invest, we're using post-money last transaction as a valuation method in general. But we do have some exception, especially during this year when the market conditions have been changing. We also have to estimate, or we have to adapt our valuation method to the market, which means that we're using another evaluation method that we call estimated value based on transaction multiples, and that's always peer valuations. If we're looking for our net asset value in the third quarter, is 68.5 million euros, which is roughly divided 50-50 between Service and Epti Invest. As you can see that Epti Service is increasing over time with all the profit that we're generating and all the organic growth that we have in Epti Service. In Epti Invest, we had a little bit adjustment during the first quarter and the second quarter this year, which is related to the market condition that has affect our now. If we look into our growth, annual growth over the years, and when we start at the revenue, we can see that we have an annual growth rate of around 79% during this last 5 years. If we're looking to the NAV, we have an annual growth of 73%, which shows our hockey stick and our growth, the corporate growth the last years. If we go into our financial figures, and we published our interim report this morning, and we're really glad that we can continue showing and presenting that we have an organic growth, we have a group revenue growth, and especially we have a continued growing in our Epti Service on the top line. And as you can see that we have a smaller revenue from Epti Invest during the second quarter and the third quarter. Why? Yeah, since Epti Invest, our strategy is not to be majority holder in Epti Invest, in the holdings in Epti Invest. So, but currently we have 3, and in the beginning of the year we had 8, which we needed to consolidate them into our figures. They are also the reason for our negative EBITDA in the start of this year. Since Epti Service has around an EBITDA margin around 20 to 25%. So what we are working on now very hardly is to continue with our organic profitable growth in Epti Service, to continue our EBITDA growth, to go from minus 1.1 million in the beginning of this year, and now plus 0.5. We hopefully will grow that even more now. Minus 5 million in the fourth quarter last year is also since we did an IPO in the fourth quarter, 3.1 million of this is related to our IPO. This is not expenses that have been has affect our cash flow. It's only a bookkeeping thing. A little bit only like more in details, the figures for this year, and especially if we're looking on the table to the left, we can see that the accumulated for this period, we have still minus 0.5. But since we have started our change in the end of the first quarter, we hopefully can change that for the fourth quarter for sure. If we look at the Epti service, we can see that we have a margin around 21%, 22% for the first 9 months. And we can see that the revenue from Epti service is the biggest part of our total revenue in the group. Shortly about our balance sheet, long-term assets is mostly related. 15 million of that is related to our goodwills since our acquisition from the last year. We have 5 million is related to financial assets in minority holdings, and the rest is related to intangible assets related to other kind of works. And then when we're looking on the debt side, we have around 3 million is related to our interest-bearing debts. We have 5 million of them is related to future capital increase that we will have during fourth quarter, since they will be converting from debt to equity in the fourth quarter. And then the rest is operating debts, which is around 6 million. The equity ratio is 59% in the last of September. Yeah, that was.
Thank you, Adam. Very good. Thank you so much. So let's go and jump in a little bit about the share price development and investment relations work. So as you can see, we have not been spared, like nobody has, when it comes to the share price development. But also, as you could see, fundamentally, the company is going very, very well. So there is obviously a quite disconnect from these two. We had a low point of 0.15 euro on our share. We have an average trading volume of just above 14,500 shares, 14,500 euro per day, and an average trading volume in shares of 32,500 shares. The complete outstanding shares of the company is 107 million, with the current share price of 20 cents, and GBC has put a target price, a buy rating of 85 cents. So if we crunch all these numbers into a nicer looking graph, it gives you the right side here. So if we take a look at the right side, we can see that the market cap by end of Q3 was a mere 18.42 million euros, which is at a substantial discount to the cash flow generating business segment of Epti Service AB, which continues to grow with an organic growth of 37%, and what's called a super margin service company, meaning its super margin is any service company doing over 20%. So again, going back to that, our share price development is definitely not fundamentally connected to the fundamentals of the company. So that's a little bit about our share price and the market cap currently by Q3 standing against the complete NAV, of which is about 50% service, cash flow generating at 12.5 EBITDA, and Invest AB, as Adam mentioned, based on latest transaction or peer group analysis. Investor relations. So some of you have maybe met us before. We're on most of conferences. We were here at MKK in May as well, where we started with the minus 1 million that Adam mentioned, now ending in Q3 with plus 500,000 instead in the quarter. So it's been an amazing development the last 9 months, which we also have been talking about, is the goal when we were here the last time in the beginning of the year. But we have also been on equity forum in Frankfurt, the prior Kapitalkonferenz, and now again MKK. We will be in Frankfurt on Eigen Kapital Forum and online on the IIF, which we look forward to as well. So founders, we own still 45%, management and board 25%, free float is 30%, and total shareholders is 2,500. The Q3 was released today, as you can see, 15th of November. The annual report is on the 23rd of February, so look out for that one. And yeah, a little bit of other stock data as well, which you can find there. And last but not least, and I think we're on time, is the management and board, a mix of people from Sweden and Germany, both in the management and in the board. We have the three founders, which you can see as well here on the left side, together with Adam, Måns, and Fredrik, which are also on the management. And on the right side, we have our chairman from Sweden, Stefan Fleissner here as well. That's with us at the GBC, working as well with us, from Germany, and the mix basically, which we are very proud to have, as we are also active both in Scandinavia and the DACH region. So that's a little bit about us. I think we're on time, right?
Yes.
Do we have more time?
15 minutes
15 more minutes, and the Q&A is
inclusive
in those 15. Okay, good. All right, that's a bit about Epti. So any questions maybe from the Q&A? No. If there's any questions you wish to ask in German, we probably could get those translated as well. So let not the language be a barrier in asking. No? Okay, no questions. I have a bit of extra slides, which I can use, if that's okay.
Yes.
Perfect, if there's no questions. So one of the things we usually get asked about is, can you tell us a bit more about your portfolio company? So we added a few extra slides in case there would be no questions to go through those. So we start here with Epti Factory, one of our service companies, which we started. It's what we call the company building factory. So it assists in building, launching, and growing tech companies. Its specialities focus on delivery speed with quality and taking companies from 0 to 100. And currently it founded 2017. Revenues are estimated at 10 million. Profitable from day one, over 100 employees, and we own it to 100%. It's led by Antonella, who's the CEO of the company. So that's one of our examples in service. Another example in service is Axacon, a Swedish consulting company, which was founded 2014, 4 million euros in revenue, ownership 91%, over 35 employees, and focuses on on-site consultancy. So the previous company is full stack remote tech teams, and this one is on-site consultancy. So it's consultants on the site with the customers. This is an example from our investment arm, Apotekamo, with Srdjan, the CEO and co-founder. Was founded 2019. It's currently grown into be shipping over 10,000 orders per month in the former Yugoslavia region. It's basically like shop Apotek and Doc Morris for former Yugoslavia region. Revenues of 2 million euros estimated this year, where we own about just right under 50%. That's another example of the kind of companies we invest in. Invio, an event platform that is used by quite big companies for managing their company events. So it's kind of like Facebook events, but for companies, very easy to handle, software as a service, profitable, growing very nicely in organic growth. Not a lot of employees, but doing quite nice in revenues and with quite big customers. And in Banner, which is largest corner investor here is Trustly, Sweden's biggest fintech company, with customers such as Mr. Gamble, Lucky Casino, and there's quite a bit of these big ones, gaming customers, which focuses on an ad tech platform that decreases conversion by 3 times from regular banners, from click to transaction. So, and last but not least, maybe to mention the world's largest gaming center and esports arena, which we started together with Björn Ulvaeus from ABBA and Conny from EQT, the largest Swedish private equity and the top 5 largest private equity firms in the world. We started esports center, digital culture center in the center of Stockholm, 7,500 square meters big, with the world's largest Samsung screen of 127 square meter, actually, and it's where kids today go to play games, compete in esports and so on, and a very, very nice project as well. If you're ever in Stockholm, you should definitely go and visit it. That's a very nice place. That's a little bit of extra slides from us, maybe to fill out the time. Maybe somebody has some questions now. If not,
No questions. 9 minutes left.
okay. No, I guess we're very straight to the point, so it's not so much more to say. If there is no question, I think we were very good and clear on presenting ourselves. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much.